Have you ever looked at a small trading account and just dreamed of turning it into something, substantial? Well, you are in exactly the right place. We're not going to talk about hype or getting lucky. Nope. We're going to break down 6 powerful secrets that can totally change how you approach the markets just by focusing on what really, really matters.
And this is where it all starts, with a story that, let's be honest, is probably painfully familiar to a lot of traders out there. That incredible, heart-pounding high of a massive win, followed by that gut-wrenching low of losing every single penny of it in a day. That emotional roller coaster? That's exactly what we're here to get off of for good. You see, this whole boom and bust cycle, we call that the small account trap. It's this super frustrating loop where you make some great progress, you feel like you finally cracked the code, and then bam, one bad day just wipes out weeks of your hard work. But what if the problem isn't what you think it is?
Yeah, it turns out having a small account isn't the real handicap. The thing that truly keeps traders stuck in that trap is a busted mindset and, well, a pretty inconsistent method. Getting this part right is the foundation for absolutely everything else we're about to talk about.
So that brings us to our first 3 secrets, and these are all about building a winning mindset. Because before you even think about fancy strategies or indicators, you have got to master the game that's being played right between your ears. All right, secret number 1 is to focus only on the highest quality A-plus trade setups. It is so easy to fall into the trap of thinking more trades equals more money. But in reality, that's just a fast track to forcing bad trades and racking up commissions and a ton of stress. Quality over quantity. That is the mantra. And here's a super powerful way to enforce that discipline. Before you click that buy button, I want you to actively try to talk yourself out of the trade. Seriously, play devil's advocate. Find every reason it could fail. This little trick defeats something called confirmation bias, our brain's tendency to only see what we want to see. If you've tried your best to kill the trade idea and it still looks good, well, that is your A-plus setup.
Okay, secret number 2. Now this one's going to feel a little weird at first, but trust me, it's an absolute game changer. You need to treat trading like it's a game. Forget about the money for a minute. Your only goal, your only mission, is to master the mechanics, follow your rules, and execute your strategy perfectly. The money? Oh, that'll show up. But it's just a byproduct of your excellent execution. It's not the goal itself.
I mean, just look at the difference here. An emotional trader takes a loss and immediately doubles down to win it back, right? That's revenge trading. They start digging a hole that gets deeper and deeper until it's impossible to climb out of. A professional, though, they keep their risk the same on every single trade. A loss is just a data point. It's not a personal attack, and that allows them to stay in the game and recover methodically. And this flows perfectly into secret number 3. You've probably heard this a million times. Hey, no one ever went broke taking a profit. Well, I'm here to tell you, for a trader who has a statistical edge, that is some of the absolute worst advice you could ever listen to. Why? Because your entire system's profitability relies on your big wins paying for all of your small controlled losses. This right here is the recipe for failure. So many traders do it backwards. They emotionally hold on to their losers, just praying they'll come back to even, while at the same time, they cut their winners short at the first tiny sign of trouble. Think about that. You're maximizing your risk and you're minimizing your reward. The literal opposite of what you need to do to be profitable.
Okay, so we've got our mindset right. Now let's talk about building the actual system. Secrets 4 and 5 are all about the hard, tangible rules that are going to guide you when your emotions start screaming.
Secret number 4 is to master just one, strategy. So many traders suffer from shiny object syndrome. They jump from strategy to strategy, always chasing that perfect system. But they never stick with one long enough to really understand it, to learn its quirks and, most importantly, its statistical edge. You know the saying, jack of all trades, master of none. It has never been more true than in trading.
And this right here is exactly why that focus is so critical. Take a look. You've got 2 strategies. The apparent winner wins 60% of the time. Feels great, right? But because those few losses are absolutely massive, it's a losing strategy overall. Meanwhile, the hidden gem loses 70% of the time, which feels terrible. But because its wins are so huge, it's actually incredibly profitable. You would never ever discover this if you gave up after a couple of losses. So, how do you find your hidden gem? How do you even know you have one? Simple. You measure everything. You journal your trades. You collect the data. You absolutely cannot improve what you don't measure. And you can't have real conviction in your strategy if you don't have the cold, hard data to back it up. Which brings us to secret number 5. You have to preserve your capital at all costs. Think of your trading capital as your business's inventory. Without it, you are out of the game. Your number one job isn't to make money, it's to protect the money you already have. And here is a dead simple, non-negotiable rule to do exactly that. The 3-loss rule. First, decide what your max loss is for a single trade. Then, if you hit 3 of those losses in one day, you're done. You shut it down. Period. No one last trade. This simple rule is the circuit breaker that stops a bad day from spiraling into a catastrophic, account-destroying day.
So we've covered mindset, we've covered systems, and that brings us to the final and I think the most important secret of them all. This is the big aha moment. This is what ties everything together and finally turns trading from a hobby into a real, legitimate business.
So let me ask you a question. Let's say you want to make $10,000 a month from trading. What's your plan? How are you going to get there? The way most people answer this question is the very reason they're almost guaranteed to fail.
The flawed logic goes something like this. Okay, I'll just break it down. I need to make $500 a day. Sounds reasonable, right? But what happens when you have a losing day and you lose $200? Well, now, tomorrow, you feel this immense pressure to make $700, and you start chasing, you start breaking your rules. The superior logic, though, it reframes the entire question. Instead of chasing a number, you focus on perfecting a process.
Here's how you actually reverse engineer that goal. Step 1, you master your one strategy. Step 2, through all that journaling and backtesting, you discover that, on average, it makes you 15 times your initial risk each month. We call that 15R. Step 3, you just do some simple math. You divide your goal, $10,000, by your average R of 15. The answer is $667. And suddenly, your whole job changes. Your job is no longer to make $10,000. Your job is simply to risk $667 per trade and execute your process flawlessly. The goal just takes care of itself.
And that brings us completely full circle. The money, it really is just a byproduct of being a good trader. It's the natural result of having the right mindset, a rock-solid system, and an unwavering, obsessive focus on perfect execution.
So the final question you have to ask yourself is this. Are you going to keep chasing the money, an outcome you can't really control, or are you finally going to focus on mastering your process, the one thing you actually can control? The choice you make, well, that's going to define your entire trading journey.